Guts. Guts is an awesome character. To be honest with you, I struggled to find the precise words in this intro to fully describe the legacy that Guts continues to leave. But to shortly summarize it, I love Guts. For those of you who may be unaware, I am of course talking about the fascinating world of Berserk. Thanks to the brilliant Kentaro Miura, Guts has become an icon in manga with his compelling character, story, and of course his, gentlemanly couth. Guts, the remarkable friends and foes he makes along his path, and the world of Berserk as a whole has left countless readers captivated for years and catapulted Berserk into international fame. Put Guts in Xenoblade 3, that would low-key go kinda hard to be honest, because he has lived to fight and fought to live since he was a mere child. He has overcome many obstacles in his path, and that is merely a taste of why Guts is an inspiration. Very quickly, before we get fully into it, here's your spoiler warning. There will be clips shown that will spoil certain aspects of the story. If you have not read or watched Berserk, I'd recommend playing it safe and coming back to this video once you've experienced at least up to the Golden Age arc. Here is your one warning. Thank you. I feel like I started Berserk at just the right time in my life, genuinely. And I'll soon dive deeper as to why. It was late April, early May when I first started reading Berserk. I can actually tell you the exact date I bought the first deluxe edition book. Saturday, April 27th. I bought it at C2E2. Anyway, at first I wasn't even sure when I was gonna start it. Whether it be doomed to marinate in my ludicrous backlog, or if I'd give it the light of day. I guess the allure of the sleek, hardback covers, or maybe the mysterious vibe of the crimson behelit within, just compelled me to dig into it one night. It had piqued my interest, nonetheless, and I found myself eager to start seeing what the hype was all about. And let me tell you, Guts being balls deep in a demon on the very first page was definitely not what I was expecting. But you know what? It gave a lasting first impression, to say the least. I quickly started to love reading the manga. I found myself enthralled by the world of Berserk. Guts quickly cemented himself as an absolute badass in the Black Swordsman arc, swinging the Dragon Slayer around like it's fucking nothing, cutting demons and monsters alike down left and right with ease, like when he faced against the skeletons in the field and destroyed them all, a standout scene to me, all with this spiteful fuck you demeanor. This opening arc is no doubt entertaining, with his fight against the Count for example. But seeing Guts develop and change constantly over the course of the Golden Age arc and beyond as his life changes and how he interacts with different kinds of characters is really what made me resonate with him and furthermore respect him. I love the continuation of his story after the tragic conclusion to the Golden Age arc. I love seeing the drastic change in such a short amount of time, and seeing how his motivations and purpose quickly changed as he loses practically everyone he held dear within the Hawks. Between the countless deaths at the hands of Griffith's sacrifice and seeing Casca lose her memories. Watching him press on while developing is fascinating, however. Although he is motivated by vengeance, the will to persevere after severe loss is admirable to say the least. He has a driving force, and he acts upon his one goal, and it fuels him to press on. But even before then, even when he was searching for his purpose, he has shown the indomitable human spirit and his will to survive. Yes, I get he's a mercenary, but still, he doesn't give in. He doesn't let his challenges beat him. He's strong. He's shown his strength ever since he took up the sword as a kid. He is the struggler. Ah, yes. Struggler. A well-known quote within the series, "Take heed, struggler." I want to take a deeper dive into this title. What does it mean to be a struggler? You're probably thinking, duh, it's pretty self-explanatory what it means to be a struggler. And while you're right, I like to take the meaning on a deeper level. Earlier, I briefly mentioned how I felt like I picked up Berserk at the right time in my life. Why? Struggler is the answer. Relating to and being a struggler. There were, and honestly still are, several challenges I've faced during my time reading Berserk. It may sound silly, but I consider myself to be a struggler. But there's a hidden beauty in being a struggler. The beauty of the term struggler is that there's unity in it, and unity is inspiring. I am not the only struggler, far from it. It goes without saying that everyone has struggles. Everyone is battling hardships and turmoils on a daily basis. We are all strugglers, fighting our own separate battles day by day. And while some people are unfortunately fighting battles alone, that is one thing that all humans can resonate with: struggle. And we shouldn't have to struggle alone. We are constantly changing as people as life throws hardships at us, and how we choose to respond to those hardships. I feel a sense of unity in the term struggler because to me, the Black Swordsman is the face of struggling, one of the few things that every human can relate to, like I said. There is true beauty in perseverance, never giving up despite the fears, doubts, regrets, changes, and turmoils that life presents you. I'm sure you've heard things like this a million times over, but Guts is important to me because he embodies the daily struggle. He embodies the growing of strength, and he embodies perseverance. Pick almost any era of his life, and you could most likely find a spot where he is in immense struggle. Whether it be the trauma from killing Gambino, the only person resembling any sort of father figure for Guts, unfortunately, or just barely escaping death against the ruthless Nosferatu Zod, our struggler's fiercest foe. Unfortunately, it seems like so many folks don't reach out to someone in their struggle. It is an unfortunate extra aspect to the overall relatability of being strugglers. Guts is similar after all. Reading Guts' story as it continues to develop inspires me to keep moving my feet, never bow to challenges, and to instill the feeling of hope into all fellow strugglers. Just like he does. Guts is that icon for me. Guts' stubbornness in dealing with his baggage alone and isolating himself from others is painfully real. It's something I and countless others have dealt with. This is why I love the iconic phrase, "Take heed, struggler." It gives me hope. It serves as a reminder that through struggles, we gain strength and develop. It's a reminder that despite struggles, we can find it in ourselves to keep stepping forward, even if we feel a little aimless at first. Taking heed. Lifelong learning is something to strive for. Another very relatable aspect to Guts' character is the search for purpose. Throughout his life, the 100-man killer has practically only lived and breathed fighting. He comes to realize that he wants to discover a greater purpose in his life, and this is only driven home harder when he overhears a conversation between Griffith and Princess Charlotte.
I'm sure your friends are equally as fascinated by you, and that attracts them to you.
They are my able soldiers, it's true. They are dedicated comrades who sacrificed themselves for my dream so that it might be real. But that does not make them friends. In my mind, a true friend never relies on another's dream. The man who would be my friend must have his own reason for living, beyond me. And he should put his heart and soul into protecting his dream. He should never hesitate to defend it, even against me. For me to call a man my friend, he must be equal to me in all respects.
Even if it means leaving the Hawks, Guts knows he wants to find meaningful purpose in his life and have his own dream to fight for, instead of fighting, killing for another's. I love the profound narrative of one's purpose in their life. I love seeing how it differs between the members of the Hawks. The contrast between Guts', Corcus', and Judeau's respective purposes and reasonings behind them is interesting to witness. I love the scene that illustrates this in both the show and the manga. One's experiences shapes their perspective on things, and I love hearing the characters' different experiences and why they made the subsequent decisions they did. Like Judeau finding purpose in serving Griffith, versus our favorite struggler who feels aimless in search of his own purpose in his life. There is beauty in everyone's different stories, motivations, aspirations, goals, experiences, all falling under every human's different stories. It's quite fascinating. One of the things that is so fascinating about the concept of purpose is that, like anything in this world, it can change in no time. We might also come to be so invested in pursuit of purpose that we may become blind to see that maybe we're already fulfilling our purposes without realizing. Guts has experienced both of these things, further adding to his relatable character.
He's literally me.
Eventually, he realizes that maybe his purpose was something he had all along.
Perhaps this is what I was looking for my whole life. I didn't realize it until this very moment. But everything I wanted back then is right here before me now. Why don't I ever realize what I have until it's lost to me?
Earning companionship and forging bonds, fighting alongside with the members of the Hawks, even though he didn't believe he deserved the respect of his peers, leading him to feel aimless. Either way, the ability to carry out a tough decision in order for a grander self-fulfillment is something worthy of respect. Some people might shy away from big decisions out of fear. Fear of the uncertain, maybe fear of taking the risks, fear of the future. Whichever one of the many reasons it may be, these dilemmas are something we've all faced before. Guts resolved to better himself and strive to feel fulfilled with his life, finding and fighting for his own dreams. The desire for finding purpose in our lives is something that I'm sure everyone watching can also relate to, which is why I find myself feeling connected and further inspired by the struggler. Guts is my icon in searching for fulfillment in life. He reminds me that I'm responsible for finding and grasping my purpose, and he fuels me to keep pursuing it. He helps me to embrace big decisions, to take chances to obtain fulfillment, to not become complacent in life, and strive for more. Just like he did when deciding to part ways with the Hawks. He also reminds me that it's okay if my purpose may change. Embrace it, take it, and run with it. Find out a way to work it out through all the changes, akin to his sudden shift in purpose following the start of the Conviction arc, swearing to find and kill all the demons he can. This is another way that I find strength and motivation in the Branded Swordsman. I've gone on and on about how much I love the Black Swordsman, how he inspires me. But I'd also like to share what I've done with the inspiration that has allowed me to make changes that have vastly improved my life over the last year. First big example is my ongoing weight loss journey. Perhaps to the surprise of nobody, given the obvious correlation between the big, buff, sexy Branded Swordsman and lifting weights, but I digress.
Side note, I love seeing all the people in the gym with the brand of sacrifice tattoos.
I started hitting the gym regularly starting January of this year, not much sooner than I started reading Berserk. Guts' physique was one of the many motivators to stay consistent. I lived a sedentary lifestyle for most of my days, and I weighed around 280 pounds in June of 2023. During that month, I hadn't started lifting yet, but due to starting my new job, I was more active and moving around significantly more than I had been in a long time. Eventually, I had plateaued, but when I started consistent lifting and healthy eating, I saw consistent results. In July of 2024, I got all the way down to 200 pounds. I also like to use being a struggler as motivation when I'm lifting. I'd say the second biggest way I've been able to utilize the inspiration in changing my life is becoming more comfortable with my self-image. Having more confidence in myself and my abilities, not worrying as much what people may think of me. Before, I would always overthink about how people might perceive me. I tried too hard to seem likable that I only made myself seem weird and awkward. But over the past few months, I've developed more confidence and a better self-image. I've gotten more comfortable interacting with all different kinds of people, recognizing that I am important and that I add value just like anyone else. I've been able to act more in line with my value system, with less fear of change or rejection. Not to mention becoming more comfortable with taking risks, embracing change, striving to never be complacent in life. I've been able to take those steps and walk towards a fulfilling lifestyle. With thanks to my emotional support struggler! Emotional support struggler! For only a small price of the flesh of everyone you've ever loved, you too can get yourself your very own emotional support struggler. Buy now while supplies last. So yeah, shenanigans aside, those are the biggest reasons why I've come to love our iconic struggler on a deep level. Not only Guts, but just the story of Berserk in general, honestly. His development continues to inspire me to do just what he does, overcome adversity. The sense of hope from being a struggler. Finding the strength to struggle on in pursuit of greater strength and purpose. He inspires me to keep developing myself and fight for my own dreams. He motivates me to keep moving towards my aspirations. He motivates me to kill fear and embrace new experiences in search of fulfillment. Hopefully I've been able to coherently articulate my feelings. And hopefully I was able to resonate with you. Or better yet, maybe even inspire you a little bit too. Let me know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Your feedback, observations, own personal experiences reading/watching Berserk. Feel free to drop what you think in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, fellow strugglers.